All right, greetings, greetings. This is Body-Culinary, sending you all some warm, positive vibes from Central America. So, I'm still celebrating my birthday as well as my birthday cake. My official birthday cake is mango. And so, this is mango season. We're just getting into the start of mango season. So this is there's mango, and then today also I have another one of my favorites, as well as my sister's favorite, and that is Mamey fruit. So this is a Mamey fruit, spelled Mamey, Mamey fruit. And nature has so many treats. I tell you, if when you have so many treats, why cheat? There's no need to cheat, and I really, really love to eat. I'm so grateful to have found a simple way of eating that is very nutrient dense. It's very satisfying. It's very pleasurable. It's very colorful, and it doesn't leave a whole bunch of waste on my waist, right? As well as nurturing and nourishing my body from a cellular level, right? So all of these treats that I'm eating help my immune system. So that's like a no-brainer. Plus, it helps my skin because I used to have some jacked up looking skin, right? Some acne from eating junk food. So today I have a Mamey fruit. So we're going to crack this open. This is like having a sweet potato pie in a fruit, just coming right off the tree. So this is the Mamey fruit, right? And the mango season, oh my gosh. Oh, there's like, I have several varieties of mangoes here. We have some, I can't remember all the names. I know there are apple mangoes in here. So these are some of the varieties of mangoes that are in here. It's quite a bit. And these are all what I would call sun cooked or tree ripened, right? And these are not exactly ripe yet. Oh my gosh, these are so delicious. I used to pay so much for one of these in the States, right? And some of them have different kind of notes. Some of them, in terms of tasting notes, some may taste more orangey, like orange or citrus. Some of them have like a deep, almost like a strawberry kind of flavor, a strawberry pineapple kind of flavor. But there's all these different flavor notes to mango. So these are like my official birthday cake. As well as there was still a few passion fruit. So these can be very hard, and if you find in the States, and if you find them, they're probably going to charge you an arm and 4 legs for one. So it's interesting how passion fruit, kainito or babiwata, they look similar in terms of the way the stem looks. Some people say it looks like a woman's breast, right? And some of them, like the kainito, looks like a milky grape, but this is passion fruit. So I cracked some of these open the other day. These are some of the most exquisite tropical fruits that you ever want to taste if you plan on traveling to Malaysia or Bali, or for those folks that are coming to hook up with my sister and I in Central America in December for our retreat. Nature's going to give you something at every season, right? And it really makes you appreciate how long it takes for the tree to grow and bear this fruit, because we have to wait for mango season all year round. Yakov, so you don't cook your food to make a meal? No, I don't cook anything. I used to, and I grew up on flesh. Used to be a junk food junkie. But when I think of cooked, I think of sun cooked, right? I think of it. So now these, I just got these. These are like warm, all right? And sometimes, like if I look at my neighbor's tree, my mango trees have not borne any fruit. They're still very new. But nature, when you think of ripening, that's what I consider cooked. Very rarely will I use a dryer. That's something that I use, a dryer / dehydrator. That's something I used many years ago when I was transitioning, but I actually don't crave that kind of food. I crave foods with lots of living water in it, right? So the way I like to think of things is very visual and very sensual. And so I tell you, like many of my friends have said, when you come over and you spend time, like, and you taste the food and it's so delicious, everything just falls right into place and it's a no-brainer. You get really excited about whole living foods that are cruelty-free because there's so much flavor, there's so much nutrition. It's like, it's sustainable. So it's like, it just becomes a no-brainer. But I'm not using a stove. So currently, I don't have a stove in my house, at least not here in Central America. What do you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I eat a lot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I can't tell you everything that I eat because it changes all the time. And I like to keep things exciting because I am a chef by trade. And I love to prepare food, but I make all kinds of things. And although I did go to culinary school, I like to credit my grandma and my mother with giving me like the gene for flavoring food. You know, we're very spicy people, and the Afro-American and as well as the Afro-Caribbean side of my family, both sides could really burn. However, we like to eat, but we also, our health is shot from our eating habits. So the flavoring of the food is cultural. That's something that is our culture. But breakfast, one of the easiest things is what? Is fresh fruit. Like some of the stuff is so simple. But I do post things that I eat on the channel here as well as on Instagram to give you an idea. I don't know that I do it in the traditional sense that many people do, the what I eat in a day videos. And I think the reason being because people can get so focused on recipe. They are important, but we can get so focused on recipe. More important or just as important as the recipes is the mentality behind why I'm eating. So it is much bigger than the label of vegan. For me, at least from my experience, has been more about being cruelty-free. First of all, to my body, brain, body temple, my organs, just to myself, right? Not damaging myself and inflicting slow, socially acceptable suicide, as I like to call it, because it's popular on myself, my brain, and my organs, just because it tastes good, right? Unfortunately, there's so many other options. And then extending cruelty-free as a mentality and as a behavior out to my fellow human beings and the creatures in the planet Earth. That to me is really simple and it makes sense. So no, I'm not cooking anything. I will sometimes sun dry things because it can get very, very hot. Where I am now, sometimes it can go well over 100 degrees. So there are things that I actually dry in the sun because it can get that hot. And from time to time, especially if I'm making things for, let's say, family members or people, it's new to them, this way of eating, I may dry certain things. Like I can make, as a matter of fact, my sister has a craving for something. So usually if my son or my sister or family member has a craving for a pie or any kind of dish, I can recreate that from the fresh ingredients. So I'm not even buying products from the health food store. So I call it, to me, it's an art. It's something that comes very intuitive. And I think all the time of my grandmothers, my great-grandmothers. I'm sure at almost being 100 years old, there was a time where they did not have access to go in other people's stores and they really had to make do with what they had. So I know they took one thing and they used it for many different purposes. So that is the mind, that's the perspective that I'm coming from. It's very, very practical. You know, what if you don't have access, you know, let's say it's a food shortage and you only have, you know, these two items, you know, these two mangoes, then you would be making so many different things with the mangoes or just the ingredients that you have. And then also these are living foods. So there's no rigor mortis here. There's no decaying flesh. There's no violence here. I recommend folks at least consider the least harm possible, but I prefer to go cruelty free. Some people will argue that the fruits are living organisms, but there is a hierarchy in nature. But I think, and this is just me, right? If it doesn't resonate for you, toss it in the garbage. This is just one woman's experience and perspective. That foods, we can know intuitively what foods are designed for us. Like, for example, I wouldn't go up to you and bite into your arm. You know, I don't even have the teeth, you know, to do that, or the enzymes in my stomach, right? It just that would be a whole mentality. And also, if you look at babies and children, if you put all different types of items in front of them, we're naturally inclined. This is so smells like perfume. We're naturally inclined to go for the fresh fruit. So I'm eating things that are cooked by the sun, if that makes sense. 70 days fully raw here. Oh, wonderful. Gee, Okonkwo. Oh, wonderful. That is so great. Nice to see other melanated beings on the health track. Yeah, so it's health, but I also think of like this way of eating, definitely because of the mentality of someone that has witnessed, and as folks of the diaspora, of the human diaspora and the chocolate diaspora, that have been on the receiving end of so much violence and witnessing so much violence in our community and being on the receiving end. To me, you know, from a young age, it just made sense to me. It's like, then why would I want to inflict that on animals or pets or put collar? Just to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to inflict that? So if we think of karma, however you want to interpret it, wouldn't it make sense that if I'm insensitive to other beings, that I'm getting that reflected back to me, that's coming back to me? So we can talk about other quote unquote races or groups, cultural, ethnic groups of people that inflict violence or enslave other people. But I don't know if it occurs to us, you know, we all give our favorites a pass, right? We can justify certain things and behaviors if it's chocolate, if it looks like us, or if it comes in a presentation that we prefer, right, for our preferences. So anyway, but that's just one woman's experience. If it doesn't resonate with you, toss it in the garbage, right? I'm here to make a positive use, proactive use of the internet in my own simple way, and just contribute whatever you were born to do. Yes, I understand no animal flesh. And again, I'm not here to demonize people's food choices. I have people in my family, you know, I'm not going to toss people in the garbage because of they have different religious beliefs or they have different eating patterns. I share the planet with lots of different creatures and lots of different human beings. So I strive to make the effort to move peacefully and to consume peacefully, because it's a mentality. Anything I'm consuming through my eyes, through my mouth, through my ears, I'm very sensitive, you know, to violence, and I just really intuitively feel that comes back to you. But anyway, I have all of these really yummy. These are so delicious. I just gave my sister her bowl. So the main we're gonna crack open today. I wish I could share this with y'all, because things taste better when you share it with folks, right? So this is the Mamey. I've got apple mangoes here. Oh my gosh, these is like so fragrant. And then we have more passion fruit. These are about gone. So they start to get a little wrinkly as they ripen, but the flavor is, oh my gosh, it's like an explosion in your mouth of flavor. And then there are also some lychees. What happened to the lychees? Let's see, watermelon here. Oh, hold on, let me grab the lychees. I'm gonna grab the lychee, just know. I gotta give a good rinse. I mean, dripping water all over the floor. So I just gave my sister her portion. So we have lychee. So, I mean, tell me if y'all can dig it. So this is like me having y'all over for tea. Listen, just vibe me here for a minute. Why should I eat like a poor imitation, right? As a chef. Why should I pay top dollar to eat trash that's going to give me a big gut, make me bloated, clog up my pipes, make me constipated, give me acne? You have to work so hard to work that off. Now, if I put my personal trainer hat on, if I know how long it takes you to burn 500 calories if you're working vigorously, right? Most of the things that we're eating that are substances masquerading as food, they don't even have any water in it. Like most of your body is what, right? Water. So how can we expect pristine health? How can we really expect beauty, right? We're spending all this money, Level Up and all the femininity channels and the hypergamy and talking about hypogamy. I always think it's amazing that we are on all these kicks and follow all these trends that actually cost us a lot of money, a tremendous amount of money. Even vitamin pills, as somebody used to compete in fitness, protein powders. And we don't consider the beautiful, the aromatic foods that come from nature, right? And we are feminine spirits. We're all mixtures of masculine and feminine energy. I get that. But just as, you know, to me, just the thoughts and the feelings that come up around this food, it's beautiful food. I mean, I've taken every protein powder on the market, and it's just no need. Nature gives you so much. It's just not necessary. I don't have to recommend any powders or stuff to anybody that I work with, because there's so much living nutrition, right? Your body is living and breathing. This food is actually still living and breathing. It doesn't have a central nervous system where it's bleeding and crying, right? When you eat it, or crying for its mother. But it's a food that we can just tell is naturally designed for us. So I don't know, that's my take. So if someone asks, do I eat meat? So the meat I eat would be carne de coco, y aguacate, y lentejas. I'm going to eat the meat of lentils, avocados, coconuts. That's what I'm consuming for meat. So I strive to live cruelty free. And there's no need to put a rigor mortis vibration or very insensitive vibration in my body. So I don't know if we should start with Mamey fruit, or if we should start with the mango. I think we're going to start with the Mamey. So this feels like it's right. Now, they can be very, very hard if they're hard. You want to let it, it's very, very hot here, so fruit can ripen very, very quickly. So it can have like a little bit, just a little bit of a give, just a little bit. They can also, if you get one that's overripe, your finger will press right into it. So I'm going to crack this open and save some for my sister. But don't you think food tastes so much better when you share it? So I just have you over for some tea. So this is the Mamey fruit. I'm gonna twist it open. Woo! This is a good one. I love food. I ain't ashamed, honey. This is a good one. This is ripe. Can you see that? This is like literally like eating a sweet potato pie right off of a tree. And then look at it's one of the most beautiful seeds, right? So I can plant this, and it smells like sweet potato. I can plant this, and I can grow a Mamey tree from this with a whole bunch, which I think is so amazing. You can take one seed and get a whole tree full of fruit. So let me go give my sister hers. And usually, like if I'm on the road, I could take a spoon. I'm gonna grab a spoon. And you can eat it right out of the shell. Sign you want a spoon? So I'll put a spoon aside for my sister. But this is right, Mamey. If it's not right, this won't be so translucent, right? And it would be more starchy. So, ooh, this is perfect. Look at that. It's like butter. And this is literally, it tastes like a sweet potato pie. Mmm. This is happy food. This is perfectly right. This is the perfect state. So look again. So when you get your hands on it, every now and then I'll be able to find it in Brooklyn. But it would usually never be totally right. But this is the perfect ripeness. And you see, my spoon goes, this literally tastes like a sweet potato pie. Now, I could take this and mix it with some other stuff to make a more dense version of sweet potato pie, but it's perfect. It's right off the tree. Mmm. And it's so sweet. Mmm. This is literally like a creamy sweet potato pie right off of the tree. Mmm. 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 Let me go give my sister hers a slice. There you go. It's perfect. And make sure you share. Oh my gosh, that was and also I think when you're eating really delicious food, especially fresh from nature, it's a wonderful opportunity for meditation, right? Especially many of us women, especially chocolate women, but women in general, usually having issues with our weight and concern with dieting. It's always this idea, and again, as someone that's worked in the personal training field for years, especially been around a bunch of competitors, you know, chicken breast, dried chicken breast, no seasoning, broccoli, no carbs, carb depletion. There's always this thing of this idea of a deprivation of pleasure. So I knew even when I was competing years ago, I was thinking like, I don't want to diet. Now there's a lot of obesity and morbid obesity in my family. I've had yet another member of my family die from complications of obesity a few months ago from cancer. So I'm so clear. I'm crystal clear. I am crystal clear on the negative effects of drugs, alcohol, and substances masquerading as food. So, and as somebody that loves to eat, to me, I'm very grateful and it's very amazing. It's amazing to me that I don't crave certain foods, because I was addicted to barbecue potato chips, cheese doodles, beef patties, Caribbean food. I was a food addict. Fortunately, for many years, I've exercised a lot. So, you know, I didn't look like it. But my face was jacked up at one point, and I could easily gain a lot of weight. I only have a piece of my thyroid, so which regulates your metabolism. So it's very, very easy for me to gain weight. But I knew years ago that I was like, I'm not going to diet. I don't want to live like that. Just the idea of restriction doesn't appeal to me. Now, I have exercised already today, purposeful exercise. Plus, when I just rode my bicycle to the market with all of this delicious, again, this is the Mamey fruit. Look how juicy that is. It has what? So think about how most people want their skin to look, right? You might see on some of my older videos, my skin looking real jacked up. There's no joke. Mm. Oh my gosh. That's so delicious. That's so delicious, it's ridiculous. That's sweet potato pie. Growing right off the tree. Right off the tree. Look at that. I could just spoon that off. And it's all that water and fiber in it. Mm. Mm. And look at the colors. And it's like warm too. But I just rode my bicycle. It's a nice little ride with all my stuff on the handlebars. Mm. Tastes almost like a vanilla sweet potato pie. Mm. No whipped cream necessary, no sweetener necessary. That's coming right off the tree. I definitely can't finish all this. I know it's a mukbang. I see some people stuffing themselves. But we have a tendency to eat it very mindlessly. Sometimes we're in front of the screen, or maybe quite often in front of the screen. We're not even cognizant of how much we're taking in. And if we don't have activity built into our daily routine, we're basically not burning all of this stuff off. What are folks saying? That looks good. Starting the garden. Yay! Start the garden. Wonder what to plant. I love greens. I got kale and turnip with the greens on it. What else do you suggest? Oh, I got some other videos, child. I got some other videos. Kale, there's so many different varieties of kale, collard greens. Here's what I'll say. Anything that you eat, plant it. And there are actually quite a few vegetables that you can start over from what you actually bought at the market. If they don't sprout, or if they don't germinate, that's usually telling you that it's been tampered with, or the seeds, or it's been GMO'd. You know, like the other day I was in the market and I saw one watermelon, and this thing, it was a huge watermelon. It was dark pink and sliced open. I guess they had a slice open for display, and it had no seeds in it. I was like, wow, that looked kind of creepy to me. I know we hear about fruits with no seeds in it, but this had no seeds in it. It looked kind of creepy. But anything that you eat, I would recommend to plant it. So some good areas that to start from, you could do certain lettuces, you can do scallions, onions, those things, are even potatoes that sprout, and avocados. Those are things that can sprout from what you bought from the store. And don't feel no way about doing it inside of a windowsill, right, to start up. So that was like scrumptious. So I still have more. And this stuff is sizable. And this stuff is very satiating. So not everything is just a water. It has a lot of water content in it, but not everything is just a watery fruit. Like say for example, like oranges, where it just goes in one end and out the other, and you don't feel satiated. This is like a meal. This is literally like a meal. So I barely ate half of that. And I'm going to pace myself and eat slow as a meditation. I like to give thanks. I like to look at the food. I love to smell the perfume in the food because it's very sensual. I'm also giving thanks because I wait all year and I watch the trees and I watch the blossoms, and I know like if there's a good rain, I know the trees. I'm watching some blossoms right now because not all the trees blossom at the same time. I know we're going to get good mangoes. I know sometimes if the rain is too hard, if it pulls all of the blossom off the trees, that can affect how much fruit you get. So that's one of the reasons, even in the area of fitness, or even with my clients, I recommend that everybody grow something because it can really shorten your learning curve when it comes to many of us as women, right? Really dialing into an awareness or a consciousness without trying to sound too esoteric, to put us right in the mindset awareness of the energy or the food that we're consuming, which is not a mentality of deprivation or dieting, right? Mother Nature has portion control built in. So this mango is calling to me, so I'm going to eat this one. And there are some mangoes. These are all organic. There's no sprays used on these mangoes. And a lot of times, some of them, ooh, this is going to be a good one. Ooh. Look at that color in there. This is not one of the more fibrous mangoes. So there are some mangoes where you can actually eat the skin, and there are quite a few fruits where you can eat the skin. Oh my God. That one is so citrusy. Think of the most delicious mango that you have ever tasted. But my favorite mango is the full belly mango. It looks like the lady slipper mango. Lady slipper mango. It looks like a slipper, like almost like a Cinderella slipper, if you will. The shape of it, kind of like this, but it's more oblong. You see how this almost has like a little dent in there? But there's another mango called a lady slipper mango that's smaller, and then it's a full belly mango. It looks like this lady slipper, and it's about this big. Oh my gosh! You got some mangoes that can go up to like 5 pounds. There's a mango fest here in Central America. I don't know that we'll have it this year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen because of, which actually will be coming up soon, but I don't think it's going to happen because of this whole pandemic situation. But this one mango, oh my gosh, it might be 5 or 6 pounds, but when you cut into it, it's like a thick slab. Like even one side of it's like a thick slab and almost no fiber. And it tastes like pineapple, oranges, and soursop with peaches all rolled into one. Oh my God. Would like to know more about Sunfire Foods, the cooking and drying with the sun. I might have some videos I might have posted. If you scroll through my Instagram, you'll see while I was drying the tomatoes in the sun. And you'll see the trays that I put them on, because I will repurpose all kinds of things that I find around to dry. But some people, if they're in the States, I do have some workshops on my website, and I do coach people online. But there's lots of people now doing sun-fired and quote-unquote raw foods. There are different camps, different labels. I like to keep everything really, really simple, and I have a tendency to not so much fall into the labels. But as a distinction, I'm not consuming any animal flesh. But it's up to you. You're on your personal journey. You'll have to decide what works for you. But when I'm saying sun-fired, I'm referring to the sun is ripening the food, or there's certain things that I will marinate with certain acids from the plants, right? With greens and stuff like that. This is so good. This is so much flavor. So I'm just asking, would you rather have this or now later, or Skittles? Like, why would I want a cheap imitation? Right? It's no comparison. So some of us are not, I'm being exposed to this. And there's so much flavor. You can slow down and savor. You can slow down and enjoy your food. And I'll say there's something to be said for satiation, right? Let me know if you've ever experienced a time where the food was delicious. Like if you went to a restaurant and the food was so delicious, and you're like, wow, and it's healthy too. Wow, I can eat this every day. Like if you ever had that kind of experience, like that you went to a restaurant, the meal was very, the presentation was lovely, but it was really delicious and satisfying. He was like, wow, if I could have this every day, it would be a no-brainer. That's the experience that I'm going for, and that's the experience I pretty much have every day. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have to cheat, which is a relief. It's a relief. It's a relief. I take that off the table. So dieting, I take dieting off the table. I think I'm gonna. Look, I didn't even finish the whole thing. And so when you have water and fiber and nutrition and enjoyment, I like to think like my satisfaction quotient. I worked at one of the top restaurants in New York. I was externing there, and some of the dishes, like I worked at once. I was working at the Gamange station, where you that looks like a salad station, right? Because it's really like the army. It's like really like a strict army at this working at this restaurant, and the food was so exquisite. Like the most beautiful bouquets and the most beautiful presentation came out of these just simple ingredients. It was so beautiful. And in nature, the colors and the smells and the scents are so beautiful. But a lot of times when we're purchasing things, let's say if you go to Whole Foods right now and you look at many people's shopping carts, the cart is still full. I think for most people, people are eating more fruits and vegetables now, which is great. So full of boxes and packages with a picture of the fresh fruit and vegetable on it, but it's sometimes so highly processed that it's not as nutrient dense anymore. A lot of the living water has been removed. And I get it, especially being here. Mango season is once a year, so I get why ancestors, we had to use food preservation, whether that's drying. Some people can. Like I'll attempt to dry mangoes, but they just never last because we're big eaters over here. And being that we're not eating any animal flesh, we're not supplementing with any of that. Our stuff goes very quickly. But I can see why people would preserve things like sun-dried tomatoes. Again, when I dry tomatoes, they're so delicious, they just never last. They never last. But as far as food preservation, you see why people preserve food. Because there's a lot of this stuff that could actually, all this beautiful food, that can go to waste simply because it's so hot. Because the temperature is so hot, like bananas can go right here at the drop of a dime, right? Because it's so hot and things are ripening often on the tree. It is a year-round growing season here. So it's really interesting, like, to just sit back with your food when you're present, even though I'm chit-chatting with you all, having for tea, to notice if you're really satisfied or not. And if you can feel satisfied enough when you get up from the table, that you can walk away and you had a beautiful experience. You feel satiated without feeling like you got the itis, and you don't feel like you need to go take a nap. And it was highly pleasurable. That's what I was going to say. There's so much pleasure. There's so much pleasure. I think that's that's what people are missing quite often when they look to change the way that we're eating, especially women. You feel like there's no pleasure, and it's no secret. Quite often we're emoting. We're processing a lot of our emotions through food. So living foods, and food is not everything, right? It's just one of the tools in our toolbox for nourishment. But I find that it has been huge. Eating whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods has been huge as a journey in self-care, right? And self-love, right? Giving myself the best. Like, I deserve the best. So I will pay more for blueberries. I will pay more for strawberries, rather than the potato chips and the cheese doodles that I used to be addicted to. And then also, this is all my healthcare. So I'll go with the juicer. I'll take my chances with the juicer. My goal is to stay out of the doctor's office unless it's an emergency, or if I need some oxygen, if I got knocked off my bike or something like that. My goal is to stay out of there. And I like to be comfortable. I'm really feeling the mental, emotional peace with being comfortable in my own skin. And I think that's something, I don't know if many of us are experiencing that in this day and time. Like, although I really appreciate the conversations and chocolate women really started to value ourselves and really starting to apply some critical thinking, so we can start to stop putting ourselves in harm's way and providing an example for the next generation coming up. To just simply not put ourselves in harm's way when it comes to dangerous sex acts, sexually putting ourselves in harm's way because we're so needy for attention. Putting ourselves in harm's way in terms of financially, constantly buying more and more stuff, to look to get somebody to like us or to be accepted. We just put ourselves in harm's way a lot. So I usually like to follow the trail and see where that is coming from. And it's a peaceful way of eating. It's a lot of pleasure. It's a lot of health. There's a lot of beauty. These are beautifying foods. There's nothing like that pleasure and knowing you're giving yourself the very best. I find it brings a peace. That's why I just call it simple, peaceful eating. Peaceful eating. Bigger than vegan, right? Some of us can treat fighting for animals and still not be treating human beings well. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So I just want to invite you. I think I'll crack open one of these passion fruit. So even though it's a little wrinkly, it's still very ripe. This again, these foods are so fragrant. They got so much perfume. So much perfume in them. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The smell. The aroma. This smells so beautiful. It's like an explosion of flavor. But that's your passion fruit. Sometimes if you go to a really nice high-end bakery, you'll see they do passion fruit tart. So they'll do passion fruit on top of the cake or something. So I'm just going to spoon that right out. And sometimes you can find this stuff in Chinatown or Little Thailand frozen. But when you taste it fresh and it's right, there's no comparison. But I do invite people to do the best that you can with what's available to you. I think the first priority is to have an abundance of colors. I call, when you have the red, gold, and green, you got lots of nutrition in your intake. Mm. Mm. And you can see, oops, I don't want to spill on the computer. Why it is so expensive. Mm. These fruits are like highly perishable. So it costs a lot to process it and to package it and get it to the States. So I see why it's so expensive. So if you have the opportunity to travel to a tropical environment, I think we had the lychee the other day too. We still got lychee. Lychee is going to have a very short season again this year. Also, this has a lot of potassium in it. And again, as I mentioned before, some people call this dragon's eye. And this is so refreshing on a hot day. So here's your lychee. Some people. Off the skin. Notice all these have these shiny seeds. And the acne, I had acne the other day. The acne has very shiny seeds too. So to me, it's a living meditation, just to take your time and just meditate on what you're eating. A lot of times we're treating the food like it's a spoon or plastic, like it's an inanimate object. But this is what's going to become part of our brain and our organs and our awareness. So yeah, I love eating and to slow down and to make it a prayer. There's so many, it's a definite opportunity for prayer several times a day if you eat, and most of us eat something, right? And it's such a relief to know that you don't have to binge on junk to fast. I call it the detox to retox. We're going to these major detoxes, buying all these expensive herbs, and then go back and stuff ourselves with all this junk, right? This sweet potato pie right off the tree. There's no cholesterol. There's no flour. It's lots of texture. It's just dense enough. It's so satisfying. Nature is, folks, we're sleeping on nature. Maybe we're not exposed, but nature has so many treats. There's no need to cheat. Oh, I didn't even touch on the hair thing today. So today I'm just touching on my locks. We're going to touch on locks. So this very fine textured hair that I have. It's very fine. So I decided to roll it, which I usually don't, but it's so hot. I don't really like the feeling of hair on my neck. And so I don't roll it all the way down to the root, but I can leave my hair like this indefinitely. Right, and I do have that fine Afro texture. So look at that. It gives me the best curl ever. Ever. 0 products, no oil, no dandruff, no buildup, no oil on my pillow, nothing running down into my face to cause acne. And I can wear these outside. And my hair can stay like this indefinitely, even if I get bored quickly. But I don't have to do anything to my hair. What a relief to take that off the table. What a relief. What a relief. I'm all for us chopping and taking a lot off the table. So we can focus that energy somewhere else in self-care and the garden. There's tremendous resources that we can pull back from folks that don't demonstrate a genuine interest in being reciprocal with finances or in terms of really caring about our health. So this is for a couple of, I guess if I wanted to, I see some people do these protective styles. They leave in for weeks. I mean, for those folks with delicate hair and that want to see their hairline grow, if you have a delicate hairline, I think I might even do something. I don't know, I've been thinking about doing something around this hair, but this is a wonderful option for women that don't have very dense hair in their hair. My hair is not dense at all, right? So you can leave your hair alone. I think it would be very stylish with some simple studs or something, or even no earrings. And it's a great workout hair. I can lie on it. with no pain, pretty much pain-free. So I think this is a really ideal go-to style for many people that have 4C hair. And what I really love is I can take and bend these little corkscrews into different shapes around my head. So this is a go-to style. Let me see, you can see it from the rear. Right. And so yes, because my hair is so fine, it's flat. And I am A-okay with it. I am A-okay with it. So who's up in the house? Yakova. Hey, Tamiko! Tamika, you're asking what fruit is it? So again, mango. And I have several different varieties of mango. Mamey, which is I call it the sweet potato fruit. Potato pie growing right off the tree. And then there's passion fruit. This is passion fruit. And then this is lychee. I'm gonna brush it up, but some people say it look like monkey balls. But they're quite delicious. This is lychee. And then I have several varieties of mango here. Apple mangoes, all different kinds of mangoes here because we are in mango season. So this is equivalent of birthday cake for me. So this is another variety. These are several different varieties of mango. All of them delicious ways to treat yourself. They're very beautifying foods, right? But think how much money we're spending on all of these supplements and things that have fruit acids in it, instead of just eating the fruit inside and out. And so I know this way of eating is how I cleared up my skin. And I've been eating healthy for years, and it took me many years to figure out what it was that I was doing that kept me having very cystic acne. And that was really frustrating and uncomfortable to walk around with. Though, everything that we put in the body, even we decided to go buy a bunch of expensive herbs, it has to come out somewhere. So I'd rather for it to come out of my skin or somewhere else than to build up inside of a growth and turn into a tumor or cyst or a growth inside of my breast or another part of my body or my reproductive organs. And again, it's a wonderful thing that your skin can breathe, and you don't have to wear makeup if you don't want to. That you're fine. You're just exquisite. Just like this is fine. I don't need any agave. I don't need any monk fruit sweetener. I don't need the sweetener. You have options if that's what you want to do, but I don't buy sweetener. So there's been, I think today with social media, you can really cut your learning curve, and it doesn't have to take you 20, 30 years to change your consumption. You can decide where you want to get your protein from, and there's plenty of protein in the plant kingdom and queendom. And I think it's great nutrition, for this afro textured fine hair. So when you don't have to keep picking at it, which brings me to, before I forget my point, one of my main points today that I was meditating on, I was reasoning with, is self-imposed balding, right? Self-imposed balding. This anxiety that we have around being chosen and making our hair look like something that it just is not it, right? This is not sleek. Ain't nothing sleek going on here. Nothing about the color, the texture. It's not sleek. We make ourselves go bald quite often. And I remember from the first time I used to get my ears burnt with the straightening comb, which is dangerous, by the way. Scalding hot comb on the stove. I don't think they meant, any harm. Because usually we're following the folks, the women folks above us in the older generations. But between that and then begging, once I got exposed to my cousins for a perm, which left me with chemical burns as a little girl, literal scabs and chemical burns all over my scalp. We are imposing balding. Someone very dear to me, her hair doesn't grow back the same from perms, dark and lovely. It doesn't grow back, so we're damaging ourselves. Even with tweezing our eyebrows, there was one time I used to really thread and tweeze, so my eyebrows don't even grow back the same. You see some of us, eventually we have no brows. As much as I love mascara, when I was younger, I used to use vitamin E oil, Vaseline, then I graduated to castor oil and vitamin E oil. Sometimes I even put shea butter there for what it's worth. But a lot of those, some of the lesser expensive mascaras, when you go to take it off with the makeup remover, a lot of times your eyelashes go right on the tissue and the cotton with it. So, a lot of times we're imposing balding on ourselves, literally, in our effort to make our hair do something, which is one of the reasons I find free-forming or semi-free-forming so freeing. I mean, we all know that many of us are walking around with our hairline is pushed back all the way back here. You know, we want to make ourselves look like Bozo the Clown because we're trying desperately to make ourselves look like something, right? And so I don't wonder, quite often wonder and reason with what's the distinction, or are we making a distinction between enhancing and playing around artistically with our features versus covering up unhealthy skin, or the fact that we don't feel good or confident about our natural features, you know. And also we may be uncomfortable with the different phases of life, always fanatically, and some of it's due to no fault of our own, but our health and our life is our responsibility, but often frantically tweezing and pulling and doing all this stuff to make ourselves look like something. And so again, I'm not making it bad or wrong, but I'm just wondering if we discern or make a distinction between expressing ourselves with fashion or with how we do our hair and such, expressing ourselves versus trying to X ourselves out, or I got to get rid of this kinky hair. I can't bear to see like one single gnat. So I just often wonder, and it appears that we're imposing balding on ourselves to the point where you see some women, some of us can't even grow any hair anymore. And now I see on YouTube, there's so much on YouTube, you can educate yourself for the positive if you want on YouTube. But I saw this one sister who had really intense alopecia. I don't know what the reason was. And she went to a barbershop and they literally, this woman has, I guess, a reputation for working with folks with alopecia. And she literally put glue. She literally slathered glue all over. This is a working class one. Slathered glue all over her scalp, right on her scalp. And then took, I guess, kind of rubbery. I think maybe they used it for lace fronts or something. I don't know. I've never had a lace front. But it looks like something of a weight cap. She glued it onto the woman's head and she got it done, very artistically, seamlessly to look like it was her scalp. But she put this glue, who knows what chemicals on it, glued plastic, this thing to, or whatever that chemical is, to her scalp, and then proceeded to braid the hair that was on top of it. And as I was watching, I was like, wow, that's like, wow. I've worked with certain populations that wear wigs all the time, and I watch patterns. I see that there are many women, their hair doesn't grow because of wearing a wig all the time. And actually their hair looks like kind of like a, how can I say? I don't know the word of a raggedy chicken. Like if you ever see an animal with the fur has spots in it, like when they're losing their hair in spots and they just look old and dusty and, like worn out, that I've seen many a woman that their hair is kind of worn out because they wear, and that's part of their culture, right? But they wear the wigs all the time. And so quite often their scalp is not being exposed to vitamin D, or sunlight. So sometimes I just wonder the amount of money and time that's I'm investing in waiting in salons and waiting for appointments and spending all the money on all this stuff. It's like, can't we just relax and be comfortable in our own skin and feel healthy and even beautiful? And I'm just so grateful that I feel content when I look in the mirror, yeah, I do. And even if I'm not as quote unquote ripped up and all, I even take that off the table. I think it's something wonderful to be comfortable in your skin. And even if you have quote unquote additional weight that you want to get rid of, I think it's so important to just love and appreciate yourself, the fact that your body parts are working. Because if you love yourself and you say, you know what, I'm good enough. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself, right? If you know that you're good enough, it's like, let me treat myself to the bed. Let me treat myself to some lychee. Let me treat myself to some passion fruit. Let me treat myself. And I've found over the years that the more I treat myself, and I'm like, after I spent all that good money on myself, and I've spent on, even though I'm a trainer, I've invested in trainers and coaches for yoga and all in competition, all kind of stuff over the years, then I'm not as likely, once I've invested in myself, to squander myself, in front of people. And there are levels to it because you invested in yourself, right? You put the best food in your body, then are you going to open up your orifices to somebody that doesn't have care, for themselves, to protect themselves sexually or take care of their health? No, because it's a lot of, I love it. I love this lifestyle. But also, I make investments in time and energy and resources into myself. And so it's one of the best things I can do for self-care. So I just wanted to share all these goodies with y'all and encourage y'all. Mother Nature's going to give you something wherever you are. Mother Nature's going to give you a treat. Mama Nature's going to give you a bitter herb to clean your system out. And Mama's going to give you something to eat, something where you can feel satiated with protein and feel really nourished. Mama Nature has your back, and we might be just sleeping on her because she has goodies all around. If you just look, if you look, and if I know for me, once I made an agreement with myself that I'm just not going to eat trash. I'm not going to eat something that puts me in harm's way. Then it stands to reason that your reasoning capabilities, your thinking and reasoning shifts depending on the foundation of what your reasoning is. So the why to why I'm eating this way is so much, it goes so much further than a label. So anyway, this is Body-Culinary. Sharing my little tea time, my free tea time with you all, my treats, right? Nature gives you so many treats. There's no reason to cheat. You just don't need to. You don't need to. Keep your eyes open. I recommend that many people find support. I know that's something that's really been helpful. One of the things I've seen that has helped people get the most results or yielded the most results, whatever that looks like for you, create support and a support network for yourself. If that's putting certain videos on replay on YouTube, has a focus on health and it's a pleasurable lifestyle, whether that's audiobooks or tapes, or if you're fortunate enough to have some other folks around you that you don't have to convince them, they're already excited about growing food and don't mind failure. Failure is only really feedback. There's no such thing really as failure, right? If you have those kind of folks around you, it's fun. You're gonna say, thank you for this talk, sis. Let's be content. Let's find the ease. God is good all the time. So let us rejoice. I design. Yes! There's no mistakes over here. There's no mistakes. Appreciate your body temple, the fact that it's working. And your body is like, when you put this kind of stuff in your body, it's like thank you. Thank you for the hydration. Thank you for the perfume. And your intestines, everything will pass out easy. Fast food, what I call fast food, is easy in and easy out. My body can soak up the nutrition with ease, and with ease pass out the fiber as waste, right? So it's easy. It's not extreme. This is sustainable. All right. Subscribe to the channel. Feel free, if you like, feel free to share this video with someone who you know can maybe perhaps use some motivation or some support. Yeah, share the video with someone you know that could use it, right? And I will see y'all in another video. Subscribe to the channel. See y'all soon. Create a great day on purpose because you said so.